Can you actually escape a cosmic clone in Super Mario Galaxy 2? That may sound like a silly question, but I'm honestly generally curious. These shadowy figures have hunted us down for quite a while now in a wide variety of levels, and although they mimic our movement, I really want to put these clones to the test. So join me as I dissect these clones and try to make the impossible possible. When I'm putting things to the test in games, I sometimes get carried away. Hours in the day just kind of go poof, and when I step out my time warp, reality comes crashing back in. Thankfully, HelloFresh brings order to my chaotic life. With HelloFresh, I get delicious, fresh meals delivered right to my door, and it makes cooking at home super easy. Even though I spend a ton of time in games, it's important to make good food choices, so I can keep doing this for a long time. HelloFresh's wide variety of meals makes that incredibly easy, and the pre-portioned ingredients are a big help for me. Not only does it help with staying healthy, but it's a huge time saver, since I don't have to drive to the grocery store as often as before, or to even go out for takeout, because the HelloFresh food is great. This is really nice when I get sucked into making videos, because I know I already have great meals at home that don't take a long time to make. Toss in some sustainable packaging and overall less food waste, and it just makes sense. So if you want to simplify your meal planning with amazing food, use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POGSwankyBox16 for up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes, plus free shipping. And a huge thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and supporting a healthier SwankyBox. Okay, time to put these clones to the test. Many years ago, over my gameplay channel Swanky Zone, I made a video documenting the cosmic clone enemy in Super Mario Galaxy 2, and honestly, I've sort of always been fascinated by them. So cosmic clones are essentially summoned in Super Mario Galaxy 2 by a cosmic clone spawner. This object is placed on the map, and once Mario gets within its active range, which is honestly quite big, it will latch onto Mario's current position. From that point forward, clones will be dispersed from that origin point, and they will 100% mimic your movement. Spawners typically have a number of clones associated with them, and the ones you encounter normally in the game typically spit out 3 or so. However, this number can go all the way up to 50 before the game crashes. A spawner can also be assigned to -1 in the code to trigger infinite clones. Now, this spawner will still cap out at 50 clones total, but upon defeat of 1 clone, a new one will spawn in the back. Now, when I mention that cosmic clones will mimic your movement, I mean that. You can run, jump, swim, heck, even fly, and these dudes will not let up. Going down a pipe does not cause them to leave you alone, and they'll even follow you through a launch star. Whatever you do, they will do. It takes roughly around 2.5 seconds for a cosmic clone to repeat an action that Mario did, and this counter is multiplied across all the clones following you. So that means if you have 50 clones chasing after you, and you decide to jump, Cosmic Clone number 50 is going to execute that jump 2 minutes and 5 seconds later. That is how long it takes to get through a full cycle of maxed out clones, with each one following the one in front of it. If we disable Mario's hit detection, we can actually have all the clones pile up. It looks really trippy with them all standing in one space. It's like Mario's face is melting and moving around. It's also possible in certain circumstances to have 2 Cosmic Clone spawners active. Most of the time, this crashes the game, but I've had rare instances when testing the game where it did not crash. Each Cosmic Clone line has a different origin point and started following Mario at a different time, and it gets truly chaotic at this point. But now that we've covered the basics of the clones, just how well do they follow us? It would seem almost as if it's completely flawless, where the game records our movement path associated with Mario's position and just replays it back for the enemy following us. And, well, yeah, that's how it works. Even if we were to instantly warp across the map from point A to point B in the time span of 1 frame, the Cosmic Clones will do the same. They will vanish 2.5 seconds after us and just appear out of thin air just like we did. But with this in mind, how can you escape something which never gives up? Something bound to your character in a way where they will never be free. One could argue, well, just never stop moving. You'll always have your 2.5 seconds of freedom. But I really wanted to check to see if there's another way. What if we overloaded the system, so to speak? Essentially confusing the game and making it difficult to track where Mario is actually at. If the game is having difficulties determining Mario's position, then when it tries to play back those position recordings, there's a possibility that it will make an error. So how do we do that? Well, in some ways, you've seen me do it before. The idea would be to see if we could launch Mario way onto the great beyond at supersonic speeds. As Mario's position data increases to insane numbers, the game, in theory, will have trouble storing those numbers accurately. So like in other games possibly, if decimal points are considered for position data, those decimal points may eventually be cropped off by the total figures in a number. But will this be enough? Can you actually escape a Cosmic Clone this way? Let's put it to the test. So this is what we're going to do. Mario is fixed with an algorithm that exponentially increases his flying speed. This only affects his flying movement, and once it begins flying, it will multiply upon itself and accelerate Mario out into the great beyond very, very quickly. You may have seen in a previous Super Mario Galaxy video where I launched a plumber beyond the skybox. Think of that, but this is actually faster. So fast, in fact, that the camera lags so much because it can't anticipate Mario's position. So we load in a set of infinite cosmic clones in Supermassive Galaxy, get them in hot pursuit, and then punch a hole through the universe. Mario is moving so quickly that only after a few seconds of travel, he has already started glitching out. We were able to stop Mario's movements only for a moment though, because remember, whatever is applied to Mario also is applied to cosmic clones. So their speed mimics the infinite acceleration algorithm on Mario. Putting on the air brakes stops us immediately, but it takes a really long time for the camera to catch up. We moved an incredible distance in the blink of an eye, but it still wasn't enough to stop the cosmic clones. One smashed into Mario, knocking him out of the sky. His screaming, mangled corpse plummeted towards the planet below as his soul began to leave his body. I could hear Mario whisper, "More," and I had to oblige. This time we're going even farther. I want to see Mario shaken into pieces as his remnants scatter into the stars. At this point, we're moving so fast that the game is only updating frames every so often. It honestly looks like the game is running at 5 frames per second, despite still running at 100% emulated speed. I decided to check in on Mario's well-being again, and he has evolved as a human. But as soon as I do this, a cosmic clone snipes him. It still wasn't enough. Mario is a smear of his former self, reduced to nothing but lines, eyes, and a face. But as Mario plummets to the planet and frantically tries to turn himself into a skin parachute, I see them. The cosmic clones are descending upon him. They are all sorts of contorted too, but they're all here. We are far enough out of bounds that the player data associated with the player model animations is completely broken and offset. But that's not quite what we're looking for. You see, we can get the actual model position to do this too. It's starting to, but it isn't there yet. So we turn back time to right before we got hit and pursue farther into space. We're 11 minutes into the cosmic clone race and I pull Mario in for another quick look. He looks like a rocket ship destroying itself due to such insane speeds. Keep in mind, 11 minutes is a very far distance at this speed. Honestly, it's unfathomable. But again, pausing for a moment causes the clones to reach Mario, and actually somehow hit him twice. I'll explain why I think this is in a moment, but it's clear now that Mario's positioning is actually warping significant distances, and that's a good sign. 15 minutes back into our flight, and I put on the brakes for just a moment, and we once again get sniped. And we get hit again, and then again, killing Mario off. But that should be impossible though, right? I mean, we are falling after the first hit. So how are clones reaching us? The same thing happens just a few minutes later after reload, with a total time of 17 minutes travel time. Keep in mind these have interruptions, so the algorithm is reset when we stop. Mario is seemingly in multiple places at once with enough distance between each position that 10 or 12 Marios could fit between them. He alternates position every frame, and yet cosmic clones are clobbering him. How? How did cosmic clones get faster than Mario? It's true that they cannot outrun a character that continually increases speed to infinity with each second that passes. But when Mario takes damage, he begins to fall. And this fall is at normal speed. And yet, characters that are supposed to be delayed by 2.5 seconds are reaching his position faster than Mario can travel. And my best theory as to why this occurs is that cosmic clones mimic where Mario was and keep up with his logged movement for that moment in time. And when they load into that moment, while way out in the great beyond, their position is warping all over the place, sometimes pushing them closer to Mario than they were. So instead of being 2.5 seconds behind, they load in at 2.5 seconds, but the floating point number precision is so overloaded with such a high integer that despite being placed at 2.5, they appear in a position more accurate to 2 seconds. Rinse and repeat, and they inch closer and closer to Mario until they eventually close the gap with a 0-second delay, in which Mario takes damage. It's funny though because even though they have reached Mario, they still don't hit him right away. It's like Mario and the cosmic clone are inside a large cube, plummeting through the atmosphere. The cube is shaking violently, and both Mario and the clone are bouncing around inside it due to the overloaded inaccurate position data. And due to the sheer chance when they happen to appear next to each other, that's when damage occurs. Until then, it's just a game of chance until they collide, despite having relatively the same position data. Of course, this is all theoretical, so if you think you have a better explanation, definitely share in the comments. But this made me realize the true fear of cosmic clones. The farther you run from them, the closer they get. There's no escaping their cursed grasp by simply running away. They will find you, and when they do, they will kill you. Time marches forward, and we cannot outrun the past. Eventually, the past catches up to us and destroys everything we hold dear. So no, you cannot escape a cosmic clone in Super Mario Galaxy 2. That's all for today. Class dismissed, but there will be a test on this tomorrow.